I like to bring up, some simple things that can show, give confluence of reasons and give people confidence, more of a understanding of where the market could be going other than just, randomness. And what a few things I like to note here is, first of all, we've had a, bullish crossover on the weekly MACD. That's a good sign. Just kind of signals, bullish momentum in a macro scale. And looking here, man, people can draw lines different ways, right? And lines, these are all magic lines, right? It's like, what do they call it? It's like, what's the stuff with the stars that girls like, when you're like Leo and stuff. What's that called?
Astrology.
Astrology. Yeah, it's astrology for men, right? TA is astrology for men. People can draw magic lines, right? Whatever. But if the market seems to accept, similar magic lines, then they can't actually become relevant. And so bottom line is you can kind of draw this different ways. People draw lines in resistance and support by wick. People can draw it by closing candle. There's different ways to draw it. But this is, I think, roughly right. And what we're starting to see here is PulseChain looks like it could be breaking out of a massive, sad to say, but downtrend that we've been in throughout our entire existence, really 2 years. PulseChain just turned, 2 days ago, something like that, yesterday?
Yesterday, yeah, 13th.
Yeah, so this is a very big deal because we've been forming this price structure for 2 years. 2 years, man. 2 long years. And we are arguably just beginning to break out. This is a giant deal. I wanted to find this before the stream, what I'm about to refer to, but my thing wouldn't load. But this price structure reminds me a lot of Madic Polygon. Are you familiar with Madic Polygon?
Yeah.
Huge last bull cycle. It's like one of the main layer ones that, for Ethereum, or layer 2, sorry, that really got a lot of traction. It was really one of the big winners in the layer 2 niche last cycle. And its price structure was very, very similar, where it did this massive run up, pump, dump. Pump and dump, and just went sideways for a long time in this really kind of extreme pump, dump. And while its price structure was more like of a channel and less of a triangle, it more or less means the same thing, that once it broke out, it just shot off and went parabolic. Like, we're on the verge of forming a new price structure after breaking the previous one. That took 2 years. Like, guys, that's extremely significant to break bullishly. Price structure you've been forming for 2 years on such a macro scale is a very, very, very big deal. We're about to form a new price structure. We're breaking out bullishly. Bitcoin seems to be going up. Ethereum seems to be going up. The founder seems to be signaling that he's willing to be, public again. The stars are, and this all seems to coincide exactly with kind of this bullish breakout that we're seeing here. After 2 years of bearish price structure, we're finally now starting to see first signs of actual reversal here on the, shorter time frames. Let's go to a daily so we can see this a little bit better. Actual, honest to God, higher low and a higher high. This is an actual uptrend, guys. The last time, we were in an uptrend was like November, December 24. So, we're seeing some very, very interesting stuff here, man. The stars are aligning. We're seeing good things, and I am very much so looking forward to finally being able to be genuinely bullish on PulseChain. Because one of my gripes, man, is I've seen, and I get why people do it. I've seen what I interpret as a lot of cynical fake cope, because people want to be bullish on PulseChain, and they'll search for anything to do so. But in doing that, and you run the risk of running down certain paths that really aren't genuine, and if you don't acknowledge certain hard truths, it doesn't matter if you choose to not acknowledge them, the rest of the market clearly sees them. So I do think it's important to call out problems when they exist, because it doesn't matter how hard we ignore them. Everyone else sees it. And if we pretend, like it's not there. But now that we're seeing the founder, being willing to be public again, it's such great news, man. Because like I was mentioning to you before we started the stream, I was around the previous cycle. I saw Hex, start off back in 2020, 2021, and it's massive run up. I saw what it took to do that. It took a founder streaming 2-3 hours a day, practically every day for almost 2 years straight. All right. He had this massive, massive cult community who was out there daily, arguing with, debating all the top people in the crypto industry, having interviews with all the top people in the crypto industry, talking about the merits of Hex and his ecosystem constantly. And that created a genuine, real sense of, hey, we're going to take over the crypto world. We're going to be in the top 3, top 5 market cap, actually, and we're going to defeat everyone, and we're going to be winners. That was completely absent. That culture, that sense, you could feel it in the air back in the day, is completely absent today, was completely absent, because we didn't really have a founder, talking about, describing a clear direction, really out there, sing PulseChain's praises. And frankly, we still haven't really seen that, right? Like we've only seen Richard say that, hey, I'm more willing now. He put out a video saying I'm more willing now to come out there and be public. We haven't really seen him do what he was doing back in the day. But what I'm trying to suggest here is that if we really want PulseChain to beat Sui, Solana, all these other big industry players with massive war chests, we need a founder who's willing to be a public fighter and out there, singing our praises. And now that he's signaled that he's willing to do that more and more, that's fantastic news. Fantastic news. I've been I've been calling him out on that for years. I've been saying, I've been consistent for years, saying that this was extremely important for Richard to come back and be a public founder. And everyone said I was a crybaby or something because I didn't want this to crash and burn. I want to actually be genuinely bullish on PulseChain, not some fake cynical cope. And part of that is having a founder that doesn't appear to be abandoning his chain and is going to be a public fighter. And now that we're starting to see that massive, bullish improvement on the fundamentals, price structure seems to be following. So I know it was a bit of a rant, but ultimately, we're seeing some good things.
That's all right, man. That's all right. You do your thing. It's well deserved, right? Because I saw some of the flack that you were getting, and at the end of the day, you were just being honest, right? You know what I mean? It's very encouraging that Richard has done this one video, but look, at the end of the day, it's just this one video, right? Like you say, if we want to see this team really move forward, obviously we need more input from Richard, not just the odd, a couple of posts on X. I think with the whole streaming thing, I think that's fantastic. Did you see that the community are now actually starting to really move and sort of rally behind this one video that he's done? Even Rackham, Rochelle, has put up $1 million to anyone who's willing to take on Richard in a debate and win the debate.
Yeah, I actually
concerning PulseChain. Yeah, that's. Yeah. I mean, $1 million, man. Fair dues to Rack, right? Fair dues to him. Yeah, and the community is starting to kind of rally now. So hopefully it continues, and that we still see this trend.
Man, you know how they say when it rains, it pours. I don't know if there's an equivalent opposite saying, but that is also true. That sure, when it rains, it pours. We've been through 2 years of downtrend. But now we're starting to see the stars align. If we actually get an ETH, 4K, 5K, 6K, 7K, I mean, man, we can. I think that's probably what it's going to take for Richard to be really, really out there. Like, look, man, one thing for me, I can't imagine Richard is overly eager to just, go out there, live stream, and answer lots of difficult questions. Like, there's been, I'm sure you understand, a lot of, let's say, internal, choices made throughout the last few years that are, questionable. I don't imagine Richard is like super eager to come out here and and answer a bunch of difficult questions. What I do imagine is Richard is probably eager to brag. And if ETH is back above, 3,800, 4K, if we're, back above SAC rate, in that case, I could totally see Richard having something to brag about, having good things to say. And hopefully in that case, he is more willing. Because now that we have the SEC issue wrapped up, I mean, what is truly holding him back? Like, technically, there's the the Interpol stuff.
The Interpol thing, which many people seem to believe it's going to be going away soon. I mean, I know Nuclear Herbs has been quite active talking about that as well. So, but yeah, I mean, if his lawyers are really that good, I mean, what, it's like a small potential assault case? Like, what is that,
It's a private matter. And we'll say, again, I've mentioned this before, but there's zero context behind that case. Like, they're just alleging something. Yeah. Anyone can allege anything. There's no evidence. There's no context. Regardless, it's a private matter. If the CEO of Microsoft jaywalks, the stock doesn't plummet just because he got a jaywalking ticket, right? Like, it's not necessarily directly relevant. Like, I understand it's a bad look. It's not great. But it's not, chain crippling as the SEC was, right? The SEC stuff was more essential to the actual cryptos themselves. This is just like a personal matter, right? So, I mean, who knows, man? Maybe it's that, but I don't imagine Richard is gonna want to come back and answer difficult questions like the hex stuff. Why did he buy the ETH top? Other things as well that I don't want to say publicly. I don't imagine Richard's going to want to come back and say all these things. I imagine if we're at SAC, above SAC, if ETH is 4 or 5K, if the sacrifice fund is strategic reserve is in profit, hopefully that's what it takes, man. I don't know, but just the fact that he signaled that he's willing to be more public is a great sign. The market is positively reacting to the stuff, right? People aren't cheating the first opportunity they get. Oh, by the way, isn't that word now like a no-no word? You're not supposed to say that now?
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know.
I've seen people arguing about it in Telegram the last couple of days.
Yeah. Okay, so forgive me if anyone's offended by that, but hopefully we see Richard come back when price is higher, and hopefully that stuff wraps up too. I don't know. We'll see, I guess, right?